Hi. Ooh, I need to cut my hair. Welcome to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Slee. I go by the name of Flawlessly _ Queen on Instagram. So do follow me there when you have the time. I just came up here to just talk about, oh my god, the noise. I think I came here to talk about something that a lot of us in some way will experience in our lifetime or currently experiencing. I noticed that a lot of people just have been going through a lot of loss in the past 2 years, if not 3 years. I think since COVID hit, a lot of people have had to deal with untimely death or loss of a loved one, a loss of a parent, all of that. Like, it seems, I know people have been dying for years in general, like people have been dying in life, but I feel like a lot of us, and a lot of us I mean people that I follow on social media, people that I interact with, have had to deal with grief and loss, and that experience is something that you sort of never know how to go about. You never know. I don't think anyone is ever prepared to grieve, be it a loss of a loved one, be it a loss of a friend, parent, all of that stuff. So I think I was just thinking about it, and I was just thinking about how hard it is to make sense of the whole process, and how sometimes you may feel like you're okay. Some days, that's the thing about grief also. Some days you feel like, I'm fine, I can take over the world, I'll be okay. And then sometimes you like, I'm still here, I'm still going through this thing. I think for me, grief is always different with loss, with the different losses I've experienced. I think my greatest loss was 2 years ago when I lost my mom. She was sick, and she died in 2020. She was just sick for a short period of time, but somehow, because my mom was sick and I got to speak to her and she explained to me the kind of pain she was experiencing, I feel like it was a bit easier for me to accept her passing. I know that it's not the same for everyone else in my family. I know for some of my sisters, it's still something they struggle with, and I do too. She was my mom, obviously, but I feel like one thing that gives me peace about losing my mom is my mom had a strong relationship with God. Her faith was unshakable, and I know that she, like, wherever she is at peace, you know what I mean? And I also know that she was in pain, so I know that she's no longer in pain anymore. I think that for me gives me solace in a way. Like, I know this person was going through something very painful, and with the pain she was going through, she's not feeling it anymore. That's how I choose to process the whole thing. Unlike when you lose someone through an accident, for example, when it's sudden and it just happens and you're not ready, and you just spoke to them yesterday and you have all these questions and you have all these what ifs. And that's what happened to me when I lost someone I was seeing for a year. Exactly a year after we met is when he passed. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm making this and I want to talk about this. And that's because I am still every day processing him not being around. Some days I am fine. Some days I am lying in bed and I can literally hear like his voice. Like I can be like, oh my God, I miss him so much. I miss when he would say this and do this. His laugh, he was larger than life. He was funny. And we had this relationship where everything was just jokes, man. Everything was funny with that guy. Everything was so light in that relationship. And for the first part of losing him, I questioned why God brought him into my life, the time that he brought him into my life. I questioned the timing of when he passed. I'm like, literally, I met this person a year ago and he was so amazing, God. And then you took him away. Like, what is that all about, you know? And I just want to first say to everyone that if you're watching this because you're going through grief, just know that there's no right or wrong way to grieve. Everyone says this. There is no right or wrong way to grieve. I know I've heard people say to me, you seem to be okay and you seem to have a handle on whatever. And literally, he passed away in June. And now it's March. And every month on the 10th, I still remember that it's been this long since he passed. And somehow, some days I've had struggles with that. Some days I've had other people worry about me, like, how are you today? How are you feeling? Or whatever. And I'm like, I'm okay. But then when I'm alone, I then start to process and I'm just like, I am not okay. And I had moments when I was not okay. I had moments, I remember the first, I think it was the first few weeks after he had passed. And I could feel myself being like, this person is not here anymore. And I remembered his scent. Like in my mind, I always remember how he smelled like. But even the smell was gone. And I was crying. And I was crying and I was crying and I was telling my cousin, I just miss him. I just want him. I just want him. I just want him. And I was even having a panic attack. I couldn't sleep. I had to take medication to sleep for a while. I think I took medication for 3 months because I couldn't sleep. I'd have panic attacks in the middle of the night. I'd cry. I'd be hysterical. It was just so hard. The first few months were terrible. And I always say that if it wasn't for my relationship with God, first of all, I would have lost it. I would have lost it because somehow your brain tries to process what's going on. And then your mind is like, your heart, like you feel like your actual heart is like rejecting this thoughts, this process, this is really happening. This is really happening to me. This is really happening. I'm never going to see the person that I love. I'm never going to share a joke. I'm never going to share a meal with him. I'm never going to send him memes because like we used to send each other memes. And like there was no topic that was off limits. Like we spoke about everything. We hyped each other. The nigga used to hype me every day. And like we spoke, like I was big on phone calls. I was never big on phone calls, but he was big on phone calls. So he'd literally video call me every day. Even at work, they knew that this nigga, he's gonna costly. Like he'll call me even in the middle of a meeting. He'll call me in the middle of the presentation. Like I'd have to be like sometimes, bro, today I have meetings from when don't call me, because he will call me about the smallest things and we'd talk about the smallest things and about the biggest things. But like he was just a constant in my life, and I don't even know where he came from. That's a story for another day of how we met. But literally, he was, in the short period of time that he was in my life, he was such a big part of my life. In a way that I think I convinced myself wasn't true. Like I was just like, oh, I'm cool. I'm not in this. I'm not about this. But I realized as we went on, and when I go through my videos of the first week we met, first day we hung out, or like somehow I documented most of these things without even knowing that this person is going to be taken away from me in such like a blink of an eye, literally. And those who know me know I am not the most sentimental, like I don't wear my heart on the sleeve. Like you have to dig deep to like get to my heart. Like literally my joke is always that my heart, I left it at home in KZN, like my actual heart, and then the other heart that I walk around with here is, guys, I'm wrinkled. Anyways, we are not here for that. But I left my heart in KZN, Mna, guys, and I walk around with a photocopy here in Joburg. But somehow that boy stole my heart without me even realizing that he has stolen it, and how he just became like such an important part of my life and made me so happy without even trying. Like he just got it. It was just that guy, man. He's just my nigga. And losing him really broke me. Really broke me. And a lot of the people that know me had never seen me like that. Like my sister was like, bro, what's going on? Is this you? Like my sister was scared. I remember around me I had my cousin, God bless her soul. She literally moved in with me and stayed with me for the 3 months that I was not okay. She would listen to me. She would pray with me. She would counsel me. She would cry with me. She would, like, she just was like there. Like in the morning, she'll come and be like, bro, how are you? Did you sleep well? Mind you, I still had to like be an adult, go to work. Yo, guys, life is wild, but God is good. Jesus Christ is Lord, because how I got through that time in my life and how I continue to go through it, because I'm not there. I'm not fully healed. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? As much as I believe that God is doing his work every day in my spirit and in my heart. And I always try when I'm not okay and say, God, it's kicking me, it's moving me, it's happening again. And whenever I feel like that, I'm always honest to God. I'm like, dude, I need you to carry me, you know, because sometimes it just comes out of nowhere. Like, hey, when Anjalo, you lost this person. Hey, when Anjalo, this person is not going to call you, you know. Because also there was a ritual of like, this nigga calls me. First thing in the morning, he will call me. If he's at work, he will be video calling me while I get dressed for work. If he's not at work, I'll be calling him on my way to work while he was sleeping. Constantly being updated. Like he'd go to groove and call me mid groove. I miss those things. He'd call me mid groove. Like, yeah, I'm way, you know, because nigga was on the streets also. So it's those things. Like I'm reminded some days that, yo, this happened and you're still going through it, and you're never gonna see this person again. They're never gonna call you again. You're never gonna share jokes. He's never gonna tell you and compliment you. He was big on complimenting me. He was not gonna compliment you about the smallest things. Like even when I buy something now, I'm always like, if he saw this, he would have told me how cool it is. Or if I do something, I'm like, he would have been so proud of me. Like, you know what I mean? So it's very normal that you're going to go through those moments. And I would advise anyone that's going through grief to feel. Like I used to be very dismissive of my feelings. Just growing up, I think it has something to do with like how I was raised, which is not a bad thing. But I think I never really felt the need to confront how I felt at the moment. Whenever I was going through something, I'd never feel like, let me confront it, let me cry, let me, you know, it's always like, shrug, move on. But with this, I had to feel it. I had to allow it to sit, but not too long. I also tell people that I told myself that I am going to feel as I go. I don't want to sit in my pain also. I don't. Even now when I don't feel okay, I'll call my friends. I'd call his sister, who was such an amazing support, also has been the most amazing support, and like just tell her how I'm feeling. And then it's always easy to talk to her also because she relates. She lost her brother. But just feel like whatever you have to feel, whatever it is, it's anger, it's loneliness, it's sadness, it's loss, it's pain, like, because sometimes you actually feel like physical pain. I felt actual physical chest pains. At some point I felt like I couldn't breathe. And now it's better, I won't lie. I do feel the pain, I still feel the loneliness, I still feel the sadness sometimes, but I feel like I'm at a stage of I've accepted that this happened, and somehow I am still supposed to move on and live fully, not just for his sake but also for my sake, because there's something about how we are linked to people, and somehow we have this notion that we are linked to people. Yes, we'll meet people, yes, we'll love people, but your purpose for being on earth is for you entirely, you and your life, and whatever God has planned for you. Oh wow. Whatever God has planned for you, however long your life is supposed to be, and whatever experience you go through, you need to somehow always remember that your purpose still needs to be fulfilled. Like, God's will upon your life still needs to be fulfilled, no matter what you go through, no matter who you lose. And it's very hard to process and say, even if your parents die, even if the people that are closest to you are not here anymore, you also need to continue to live. You need to find another purpose, or a purpose that is solely your own, if that makes any sense. And that is the hardest thing. That is horrible. It sucks, because like, a lot of good things happened and have been happening in my life, and when I think back now to my mom's passing, there's certain things that are happening that I wish my mom was here to see. There's certain things that I wish that my mom would know about. I tell her about, good or bad. Like, even when I lost the person that I was dating, I had this feel like I wish my mom was here. Like, I would have gone to her and cried and been a baby and just told her how I feel. And like, somehow your brain I don't want to say it tricks you, but your brain always tells you, if your mom was here, everything will be better. I don't know if you guys know that feeling. Like, even when you're sick, I used to struggle with that when I'd be sick. And I'm not a mama's baby, but like, I'd have this thing that if I'm sick, if my mom was here, it will be better. Your mom is your safe space. So with grief also comes that. But I think essentially the reason why I'm having this conversation is that just you will go through it. You will go through it and allow yourself to go through it. Like, go, feel it, cry. But also try and surround yourself. Don't push people away. Try to surround yourself with the people that are going to give you comfort, with the things that give you comfort. And say how you feel. Say when you feel lost. Say when you feel hopeless, because also there's also a degree of hopelessness that comes with grief. Like, you sometimes be like, why am I here? Why am I going through this excruciating pain? Like, to what end? Like, you know what I mean? You will have those moments. And I think that's why it's like there's a close relation to like grieving and then feeling lost, having despair, depression of sorts. But like, just find an anchor. Like I said, for me, prayer, God, my siblings, my cousin, who literally held me down, my best friend. You guys, Ichomiami. She's gonna watch this and she's gonna be like, oh my God, you're such a softie. But anyways, Ichomiami, guys, my friend held me down from the first day I found out that what had happened. She literally drove, like, she stays pretty far from here, Joburg, but she took the time. She came to my side literally hours after I told her. She was with me through out all of it, from the memorial service to going to my boyfriend's house to like every step of the way, the funeral. What are you gonna wear? Do you know what's the plan? Are we doing this? What are we doing? Literally, my like people, like, big shout out to my best friend Gugu, shout out to you. Big shout out to my cousin Unongebo. Big shout out to my sister Uzi. She literally dropped everything from home, KZN. She flew in. She was there. She wanted to be here earlier, but she couldn't get away from work. But as soon as she had the time, she came. And everyone, like, even people I used to work with in my previous job, my friends, my colleagues, they were there. They were there holding me down. They showed up for me in a place where, like, everything was, hey, fuzzy. Like, you know, your mind is just like, what's going on? Like, is this real life? And those people are your soldiers. Like, I was telling them, like, your people are literally, if I had to go to war, going to war with you. I know those people are my soldiers. I know that. And it's the same thing when my mom passed. Also, my friends drove during the peak of COVID. They drove all the way to KZN. My friend and her husband, my other friend Usta with her brother, they drove to my house. And I didn't even expect them to come because I'm like, it's lockdown, it's tricky, traveling is restricted. But they drove all the way to KZN to come and be by my side. And I will never forget that. And it's people like that you never forget. And it's people like that you know that they, as we grow older, also it's very important to have, like, friends that, those type of friends, basically, that will show up when shit is not okay, when when your brain is not working, because your brain, death, grief, that thing, I'm convinced God didn't create death, because no, man, God wouldn't want us to go through what we go through when we lose people. No ways. That's the work of the devil, I'm telling you. But, like, I think, like I said, like, the reason why I'm sharing this is that if you're currently going through it, go through it, seek help. If you feel like you're struggling and you're having thoughts that are not your own, speak up and just know that it will pass. And no, you will never be okay from losing someone you love. I will never be okay, perfectly okay, losing my mom. Like, my mom was a G, bruh. Like, I thought she was gonna live forever, that lady. Losing that lady, like, for me also just kind of like, like, it made me just see the world in such a different light. Like, and I was just like, oh wow, okay, this is life. This is how it is. You know what I mean? As old as I was, and I'm so grateful that I got to see my mom until my mom died just before I turned 32. So I had my mom all my life, you know, like I cried for the people that I know that lost their parents at a young age. I'm like, and I'm not gonna cry like, I know, like, some people wouldn't get this. I understand that death is our way to exit earth, as painful as it is. And also, I told myself that I also want to show that I'm grateful for my mom's life. Like, God, like, when God looks at me, he must see that, yes, I lost my mom, but I had my mom, like, for so long. Like, when I was younger, my mom wasn't well. There's times where she was convinced she was gonna die, but she lived, and I'm the last born at home. She lived until I turned 32. That's a blessing. She wasn't old when she died. She was only 65, but that was a blessing, having her all my life and being the mother that she was. Like, my mom was very hands-on. She loved her kids. She would have done anything for us. We often used to joke that if my mom was rich, we'd be so spoiled, because she always wanted us to win. Like, she hustled very hard for us to grow up the way we did, to have the opportunities that we had, to have the opportunities that we have now. Like, and she was such a prayerful and a woman filled with faith that even now I see things that are happening in our lives and I'm like, mom said these things would happen. Like, mom prayed about these things, you know. Other people even say, like, your mom used to pray for this for you to happen. And I'm living in my mother's prayers, you know what I mean? So I'm grateful for that, as much as it hurts that she's not here with me anymore. But I'm grateful for her life. But it didn't take me, like, I didn't wake up feeling like this. Like, some days I do miss her. I miss her voice. I miss her laugh. I miss her sense of humor. I miss her spirit. Like, she had a very bold spirit. She had a never give up type of vibe. She was that girl. But also, it takes you a while to get to the point that I'm in. My mom died in 2020. Now it's 2022. I'm in a better position now to speak the way I am. And I just want to say to anyone that is watching this, that if you're going through it, you will get to the other side. You will make it through. It might not take as long as my experiences have taken me. I'm still going through another, it's form of grief, and I'm taking it a day at a time. And I have people that support me, and I'm grateful. And I'm honest about how I feel to the people around me. When I'm not okay, I'm like, yo, I'm not okay. Today, I'm not okay. And there's people that would even pick it up that, yo, you are not okay, you know. And I'm grateful for that. So what you need to give yourself is the grace of going through it, the grace of feeling how you feel, and don't rush to heal. Another thing that a lot of people that go through grief experience, that I've experienced even with some of my close friends, is that something happens, something traumatic like losing someone you love happens, and then immediately, because life expects us to just move, like literally you are back at work 2 weeks after you lost your loved one, and that's the life that we live. And somehow you are expected to function like someone who has not had their heart shattered, like you haven't had something precious to you being lost. That's the life that we live. And you are expected to just function. So you condition yourself to think, okay, I'm fine, because you're functioning, you're waking up, you're going to work. Because there will be days where even putting on your clothes is a struggle, my dear. Even getting out of bed, like you get out of bed and then you put your feet on the ground, and then you're like, is this my life? Is this me? Like, is this, like, am I, like, this is me right now. Like, this is me. And what I'm saying to you is that because life expects us to keep going, even when we are not feeling A-okay. And this also comes from a conversation I had with, I'm all over the place. A conversation I had with someone about how they're grateful that when when their parents passed away, they were able to take time off work and process the grief, the pain, the loss, everything, the admin that comes with losing someone, especially if like you're an only child. There's certain things that you need to do, policies, this besides the funeral, there's other things that happened and come after. And she was saying she's so grateful that she was able, God like gave her an opportunity to have like a reprieve of sorts and process everything she was going through. But not a lot of us get those opportunities. Like, you bury your loved one on Sunday, on Wednesday you back at work, you know what I mean? So what happens is that you like condition yourself by, I'm fine and whatever, and then when the grief hits you, it will hit you so bad. It will either hit you as a form of sickness in your body, like now you have a flu, but the flu that you are feeling, Kariman, you are getting paralyzed. Kanti, it's your brain and your body just not compounding, understanding what's going on. And like it just made me think, it happened to me too when I lost my mom, because I was just trying to process everything quick so that I can get on with my life. Not really that I was like trying to do that, but that's what was expected of me. I had a job, I had to come back to Joburg, there was campaigns I was working on, there was this, there was that I got sick. Like, I think a month later, after I buried my mom, I fell, like I fainted. And I went to hospital, and when I got to hospital, I was just not okay. They had to put me on a drip because they gave me a tranquilizer, because emotionally I was not okay. Physically, we don't even know what was going on with me. And then the doctor was like, because there's a time when I was just crying, and then like the doctor was like, what's going on? And I was with my friend, and my friend managed to tell the doctor about, girl just lost her mom like a month ago, and I feel like she's been holding everything in, and like now it's affecting her. So the doctor like suggested grief counseling, which I didn't attend, guys. I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't, because also I didn't have the time to go to I literally went for one session for my grief counseling, and I never went back. And I think also it was the fear of confronting what was happening at the time. Yeah, if you have the means to go to grief counseling again, please go. If you have the means to get whatever form of therapy or someone to speak to or counseling or whatever, please do it. Because I don't even know the emotional repercussions or consequences of me not doing that. And I am noticing that I probably have some issues that would need me to get some form of counseling. It's not late for me also. I think I need to do it also for myself. But also I'm using this platform right now as a form of healing myself. But yeah, with everything that I've said, I've been going on for 30 minutes. Oh my God. I just wanted to say to whoever is going through a hard time, you're going through loss, grief, even grief of like, even if it's not loss of like a human being, even if it's like loss of something that you valued, a relationship, for instance, you know, breakups are also just as terrible. Losing something valuable to you, whatever grief you're going through, just know that you're not alone, and just know that you will get through it. You will make it to the other side. It's very hard to see it when you're going through it, but yay, this thing will never, you like, your brain is like, this thing is not gonna end. I'm gonna feel like this for a long time, am I not? And it's very hard for you to see the other side when you are going through it. I will not lie, but I'm just here to tell you, I'm here to testify to you and just tell you that you're not alone. Take it one step at a time. Find some way to, an outlet of sorts, be it prayer, be it meditation, be it exercise. With different people do different things to relieve themselves or their pain. Talk to someone. Never feel like you're alone. Life is happening to everyone, but we still need to be here. We still need to go on. We still need to find a way to go on. We still need to find a way to be grand, as hard as it is. Like I said, I'm still going through it. I have my days, and my hair's a mess, and I need a haircut. But I am here to say that it does get better. It does get better. And find a way to deal with it the best way you can. And just know you're not alone. And just don't isolate too much. I've done that also. I do that sometimes. I isolate. But I always have people that I can reach on the phone and be like, yo, I'm not okay. Like, there was a time I was not okay on a Sunday evening. I called my friend. She literally wanted to come to me to make sure I'm okay. But I'm fine. And going to church for me also helps me. The moment that I started going to church again often, I started feeling a lot better about the whole situation. I started looking forward to life again. I started looking forward to being here. I started looking forward to things that I want to do in my life, and it started getting better. So find that thing that's going to make you feel better. Talk to people. I've been saying the same thing over and over again, but thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful somehow. I hope to see you again on my channel. Again, my name is Slee, and hopefully we can do this life thing together, because hey, inzima, this life, adulting life, hey, life guys, life life will move you. Hey, life will move you guys. Oh, but you're not alone. Trust me, we are all going through it. We are all going through something, like, even if it's not grief. As human beings, siyagoa. Especially the older we are getting now, I'm just like, Auntie, Why were we rushing to grow up? Because hey, life is ukubamba uqoqo. Life is ukubamba uqoqo, my dear. You'll even wish ngabe usekhaya kini usemva kwendlu udlala umagalopa or ngikhumbule primary school. I miss grade 1. But just know that there are people out there that are probably going through the same thing. Find ways to feel better. Speak to someone. Again, shout out for watching. Hope to see you again on my next video. I hope this was insightful in some way. Comment below, share your experiences, and share this video if you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe, guys. Road to 100 followers, because I literally don't know how many followers I have. I probably have like 5, but I'd love to have more. So share with your friends, like this. Thank you so much for watching. Bosanas, see you next time. Cheers.